Hello and welcome to Always Elite. As you can see with my new graphic here, today we're going to be reviewing NJPW Wrestle Kingdom Day 2, which took place on January 5th, 2020 at the Tokyo Dome in Tokyo, Japan. The first match on the card was Jushin Thunder Liger and Naoki Sano versus Hiromu Tanahashi and Ryu Lee, formerly known as Dragon Lee. I believe he was in ROH. Starts off slow, Liger and Hiromu. Bunch of lockups and rest holds just back and forth for a few minutes. It was just a boring start. And when we get to that, it is Jushin Thunder Liger's last match. He is retiring after this, and they will have a retirement ceremony for him at New Year's Dash the following night on January 6th. Sano no-sells Lee forearms in typical strong style, you know, the Japanese version of fighting, you know, or whatever. But in the end, a time bomb from Takahashi to Liger, and he gets the pin and win. So ends Liger's long storied career. It lasted 3,551 matches over a grand total of 31 plus years. It was a great career. Most of you remember him, at least here in America, when he wrestled in WCW. He also wrestled in Mexico and Canada and a few other places as well. Next match on the card was the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship match it was the Tag Team Junior Heavyweight Championship match. It was between Sho and Yo, Roppongi 3K, and Taiji Ishimori and El Phantasmo. Starts off with a bang. Roppongi 3K blind attacks on the champs. Both fly over the top rope and land on their opponents. Pretty standard for Sho and Yo to get the jump on everybody, because they usually do. This is one of the weirdest double team moves I've ever seen. Do I really need to explain this? Sho is so strong, it doesn't look like he is very strong, but he really is. Wow, I wonder if AJ Styles was watching this. A Styles clash from El Phantasmo to Sho. The question is, was he watching? Probably not, but that would be interesting to see if he gave the okay for that. A shock arrow into a dragon suplex. Then a diving stomp with a shock arrow. And Roppongi 3K with the 1, 2, 3. Roppongi 3K are now the 4-time Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions. Next match on the card was the Rev Pro British Heavyweight Championship match. It was Sonata versus Zack Sabre Jr., who was the champ. ZSJ is so good. He uses the British joint manipulation style. Sonata has trained hard for this match. Keeps getting out of Zack's submissions. He's trained very, very good at this. Back and forth they go, exchanging strangleholds several times, back and forth. When we get the stranglehold, it's this, and they hold their arms behind them and they keep reversing and going back and forth. Counter for most of this match. Sonata has really trained hard for this one to try to beat ZSJ. ZSJ counters a Northern Lights roll-up with one of his own and gets the win. And he retains his British Heavyweight Championship, which I thought was surprising here. Next match on the card was the IWGP U.S. Heavyweight Championship match. It was between Juice Robinson and Jon Moxley. Juice has been waiting a long time for this rematch. Moxley says he wants to settle the score, which is true. Juice jumps Moxley before the bell. Juice wants his revenge and he wants it bad. Moxley turns it around with a chair. Then the Campbell clutch. Basically, he's got a modified Campbell clutch on him with a chokehold or something. I don't know. Moxley hits a nice figure 4 leg lock. And another after it gets broken up on the ring post. 10 minutes and there's no clear advantage for either person. 10 to Jon Moxley, double arm DDT, and then the Death Rider, and a pin for the win. Moxley retained his IWGP US Heavyweight Championship. After the match, Minoru Suzuki comes out. Suzuki kicks the crap out of Moxley. Moxley's laying basically knocked out. Is this a sign that Moxley's going to be leaving AEW soon? Because he has a 1-year opt-out in March. If he chooses to take it, he could jump to New Japan and stay there permanently. Well, we shall see. Next is the Never Openweight Championship match. It is Pro Wrestling Noah's Never Openweight Championship. It's Hiroki Goto versus Kenta, who is the champion. Right away, Goto attacks, seeking revenge on Kenta for attacking Shibata, who was his friend and trainer. Back and forth, shot for shot. Goto hits a nice KO shot. Although Goto goes for a move and leaves his arm out and Kenta capitalizes. To end it, Goto with a GTR to Kenta, and Goto wins the Never Openweight Championship. Next match was Jay White versus Kota Ibushi. White beats up Ibushi on the outside early. Ibushi just can't get anything going for a while. Every time Ibushi tries to do something, Jay White counters or just moves out of the way. Ibushi finally hits a stuffed pile driver and regains control. Jay hits Ibushi with no effect. And again, he loses all expression on his face as he did the night before. It's the same thing he did last night with Okada. Just lost all expression and went like complete like psycho. He was crazy. Jay White with a Kiwi Crusher, but Ibushi kicks out. Jay follows up with a turnbuckle, top rope turnbuckle Niranagi, which looked awful. Gato tries to get involved, but Ibushi will have none of that. Late in the match, Gato gets involved again with brass knuckles to knock out Ibushi. A Blade Runner and Jay White pins Ibushi for the win. The next match in the card, which was probably one of my favorite, was better. I think it was almost better, or if not just as good as the main event. It was Chris Jericho versus Hiroshi Tanahashi. Jericho stated before, I don't know how long before, that if Tanahashi beats him at Wrestle Kingdom, that he will offer Tanahashi a world title shot for his AEW World Championship sometime down the line. Tanahashi is in the best shape of his life. Just look at him. And in true Jericho fashion, after beating up Tanahashi on the outside, he grabs a camera, takes a few pictures of himself for the media. He's done that probably every match he's had over there. Jericho drives Tanahashi into the ringside table, but it doesn't break. Tanahashi takes over after 5 dragon screw leg whips, 3 in the ropes and 2 in the ring. They look pretty sick, but Jericho took them well. Jericho locks in the Lion Tamer after reversing a high fly flow. In the end, Tanahashi, the high-five float, countered into the Lion Tamer. Tanahashi taps out. Jericho wins the match. So Tanahashi will not receive his AEW World Title match now. Although that's yet to be seen, because in an interview afterwards, Jericho said that he would offer him one anyway, but that's not up to him. And now it is time for the main event. It is for the IWGP Intercontinental Championship and the Heavyweight Championship. The winner will become the first double champion in New Japan history. It is Tetsu Naito, who is the Intercontinental Champion, versus Kazuchika Okada, who is the World Champion. An unusually slow start to the match with Okada with rest holds. It's really weird for him. Usually he starts off the matches really, really fast paced. Naito neckbreaker from the apron to the floor on Okada, working on the neck early to set up his finisher, the Destino. Naito keeps the pressure on Okada by continuing to rain blows down on Okada's neck. Okada seems to be slowing down a bit at this point. Okada drives Naito's bad knee into the floor once. And then he picks up Naito and drives his knee through the ringside table, which doesn't break because the tables over in Japan are very thick. They're made of wood and they're not meant to break. Naito hits a nice poison rana from the top, and then Okada lands on his neck. Naito finally hits his Destino late, but Okada kicks out. Okada with a tombstone piledriver and a rainmaker, but Naito kicks out. So what a friggin' match this was. This was probably the best or second best match of like all of Wrestle Kingdom. This was really, really good. To end it, Naito with the Valencia and then a Destino, and Naito pins Okada. Naito is now a double champion and the first in the New Japan Pro Wrestling history. That's all the time I have for you today. Join me again for a review of New Year's Dash and AEW Dynamite and probably a few other things along the way. Until then, always be elite.